Hello, today I'll be presenting my analysis of the Gospel of Matthew, focusing specifically on the parable of the lost sheep and how its message applies to our world today. So, for this major analysis project, I have made the decision to choose the Gospel of Matthew. I had a few strong reasons for picking this specific book over the other three Gospels, Mark, Luke, and John. First is that I really appreciate how organized Matthew is. He writes very clearly and groups Jesus' teachings into big sections, almost like a well planned textbook. For example, he puts many important lessons together in the Sermon on the Mount. This structure helps me to learn better because I like things to be in a logical order. Secondly, Matthew focuses a lot on the connection between the Old Testament and the New Testament. He writes to show that Jesus is the king that the Jewish people had been waiting for. He quotes the Old Testament more than any other writer to prove that Jesus is the fulfillment of God's ancient promises. Finally, Matthew uses a very special phrase, the kingdom of heaven. He is the gospel writer who uses this exact term. I wanted to choose this gospel so I could understand what this kingdom is really like and what kind of rules Jesus set for the people who want to live in it. The next part is the reason that why I select the parable of the lost sheep. It reminds me that even when I feel small or overlooked, God still values me. Also, it focuses on relationships. Matthew's version speaks about caring for people in the community, not just reaching others. In a world that often measures worth by success or majority opinion, this parable says one person matters deeply. Also, it shows that God's love is willing to go after the one who strays no matter the cost. Finally, it reassures me that no one is too insignificant or too lost to be sought out. The parable of the lost sheep is a very famous story found in the Matthew chapter 18. Jesus tells this story in a specific context. He is teaching his disciples about humility. The disciples were arguing about who was the greatest, and Jesus wanted to show them that in God's eyes, greatness means caring for other people who are small or weak. The story begins with a shepherd who owns a large flock of 100 sheep. In those days, being a shepherd was a common job, but it was also hard work. One day, while the sheep are out in the hills, one single sheep wanders away from the group. It gets lost. The main action of the story happens when the shepherd realized the sheep is missing. Even though he still has 99 sheep that are safe and sound, he does not just say, oh well, 99 is enough. Instead, he makes a bold choice. He leaves the 99 sheep on the hills and goes out to search for the one that is lost. He likely searches through dangerous terrain and bad weather. When he finally finds the wandering sheep, he is filled with joy. Jesus says that the shepherd is happier about finding that one lost sheep than he is about the 99 that never ran away. So the shepherd stands for God or Jesus. He's the one who takes the initiative. He's the protective, caring, and willing to go to great lengths to save what belongs to him. The lost sheep represents a person who has gone astray. In the church, this could be a sinner, someone who is confused, or a person who feels alone and vulnerable. The 99 represents the rest of the community, the people who are safe, who follow the rules, and who have not wandered away. The main theme of this parable is the incredible value of the individual person. In our world, we often care about numbers. We think that if the majority of people are okay, then everything is fine. But this parable teaches a different religious truth. It teaches that God's love is not about statistics, it is about personal relationships. The lesson is that God assigns infinite value to one single person. Even if everyone else is doing well, God is still deeply concerned about the one person who is struggling. The moral message is that we should never give up on someone just because they are lost or difficult. We learn that God is a seeking God. He does not wait for us to fix ourselves, He comes to find us. As Matthew chapter 18 verse 14 says, it is not the will of your Father in the heaven that one of these little ones should be lost. This is the core message. No one is disposable. To make this modern, I wrote a story about a teacher named Mr. Clark. He had 99 perfect students, but one Leo dropped out. Instead of focusing on his success rates, Mr. Clark went to a dangerous neighborhood to find Leo and bring him back to school. This shows that being a shepherd isn't just about religious leadership, it's about caring for people in our daily jobs. The parable of the lost sheep gives us a very strong ethical challenge. It asks us to change how we view people in our society. The ethics of value, the world usually follows a utilitarian view, which means doing what is best for the biggest group of the people. This parable flips the idea upside down. It says we must value the weak and poor and the lonely just as much as we value the strong and wealthy. Next is the ethics of responsibility. The shepherd had a duty to the sheep. This implies that those of us who have resources such as money, time, or strength have a moral duty to use those resources to help those who have nothing. So I applied this to a social issue, homelessness. Just as the shepherd went into the wild, we need to support outreach programs that go into encampments to build trust. We need to stop viewing homeless people as problems to be removed and start viewing them as neighbors who need to be brought back into the community. Finally, studying the parable of the lost sheep changed my perspective on what it means to be a good person. I used to think being a good just meant following the rules and staying out of the trouble, like the 99 sheep. But now I realize that being a follower of Jesus means something more active. It means noticing who is missing, so, in conclusion, this project taught me that the rules in Matthew are actually about love. It challenged it challenged me to stop being comfortable with the crowd and to start looking for the individuals who are falling through the cracks. And these are the resources that I used, a reference that I used. And thank you for listening.